Yo, welcome back. Hope you're having a good day. I'm gonna be reacting to Why Plants vs. Zombies Battle for Neighborhoodville failed by MewZe. Let's get
Garden
to
Warfare
it.
1, a masterful.
Yeah, by the way, this game I didn't play it because it was like $60 or so. Like it was too much for me. My parents wouldn't pay them for buy me the game. Also, I'd rather just eat pizza than play a game like this, since it's on the 360, not on PC. Anyways, the things I saw from like YouTubers, it seemed fun. Like it seemed fine. So I'm not really sure why it failed.
Crafted game that perfectly adapted a classic mobile game into an incredible third-person shooter. Then came Garden Warfare 2, one of the greatest
see this
sequels
medal.
ever made that added even more content to the Garden Warfare formula. These two games built a legacy for this series, and so
Did it?
the logical next step.
In the video I saw talked about them how the Plants vs Zombies got ruined. I think it was a Sunny V2 or something like that. It said these games sucked, or they got filled with microtransactions.
Was to throw all of that away. This is Battle for Neighborville. After the success of Garden Warfare and the even bigger success of Garden Warfare 2, PopCap, the game's developers, wanted to keep this series going, which was a no-brainer. They knew the chances of this going badly were incredibly slim. They continued to update Garden Warfare 2 and did so for over 3 years, but over time,
like a 2v2 or 3v3, right? In like some kind of arena.
less and less people were playing the game, and they knew they had to make a big comeback. And so, in May of 2019, EA announced that a brand new Plants vs. Zombies shooter game was in development. And people were hyped. The Garden Warfare community were so happy. EA were finally continuing this beloved series, and were making a garden EA were finally continuing this beloved.
Were people actually happy for EA? Like, making a game? I guess back then they weren't seen as badly, maybe? Well, back then, it's like 5 years ago, right? Because I remember watching it as a kid, probably 6. I feel like they were still like shitty money grabbers back then as well.
Series, and were making a Garden Warfare 3. That's an interesting way of spelling it. On September 4th, 2019, players were surprised to see the announcement that this PvZ shooter wasn't a Garden Warfare game. Instead, it went by the title Plants vs. Zombies Battle for Neighborville. A game.
Oh yeah, this one was story-based, right? It was a PvE instead of PvP.
Gameplay trailer was released showcasing the game, and while it looks like a Garden Warfare Neighborville, a gameplay trailer.
That's the arena I was talking about, the 2v2 or 3v2.
Was released showcasing the game, and while it looks like a Garden Warfare game, it actually isn't, because the pea shooter looks scary. I honestly don't understand why PopCap decided to call it this instead of Garden Warfare 3, because I guarantee the name alone probably turned a lot of people off it. And if that wasn't enough to kill any hype for this game, rather than having any marketing whatsoever, it just came out. No build.
They did advertise a few YouTubers, I'm pretty sure. Because I remember the video I watched was an ad. Because I watched the videos for the other one. The Garden Warfare or whatever. And I watched one of these, and I remember the textures were off. The gameplay was like boring for some reason. It was like super slow. It's like a story game with like a Call of Duty. It has story, but the story sucked and it was super slow. Also, the gameplay seemed like it was boring.
Build up, no teaser trailers, just hey. Game. So Battle for Neighborville was dropped out of nowhere, which resulted in a pretty messy launch, but that's not too big of a deal. What's more important is the actual gameplay. And the first thing I think of when I think Plants vs. Zombies is the characters. Why do they look like that? Looking past them changing the iconic character designs into whatever the hell this is, Battle for Neighborville added 9 brand new characters to the game. Unlike the previous games, BFN splits up the character roster into different classes: attack, defense, support,
they tried to
and
do the
swarm.
Overwatch.
First up on the plants, you've got Nightcap. This character specializes in stealth and attacks by throwing blades, which means that yes, the most annoying person you know will love this character. Her first
I played Teemo in League of Legends. Well, I used to play. I haven't played him in a while. Yeah. That seems fun, I
ability is
guess.
casting shadows, where she throws a purple smoke cloud, which
I'm
can
not
be
really a
used
fan of
as
the
something to
invisible
hide
characters,
in, or offensively as it slows down any zombies in it. Next, there's
feel like
Feng
an
Fu,
invisible
where you
player
charge up
spawns
a
as an
flurry of attacks and quickly deal damage to any enemies within its radius. And finally, she has Shadow Sneak, where you briefly turn invisible and gain increased movement speed, which you can use to either get into situations or out of them. Nightcap is pretty fun to play. Being a disgusting sweaty spy main in TF2, I enjoy stealth characters in shooter games quite a lot, but similarly to Spy, dying to this character makes you want to die in real life. A tier. Next, there's Snapdragon. This is a close range character that breathes fire as a main attack.
You see, this one seems more annoying because he's constantly on your face. You can constantly see it, and you know you're gonna die. Now that's what I find annoying.
And can shoot fire
It's like Teemo. Teemo can go invincible, but after he goes invisible and he starts attacking you, he's constantly on you. It's so annoying.
balls as a secondary. His first ability is Swoop Slam, where you fly into the air and then dive bomb, dealing damage on impact. Then he
So
has
far the
Blue
game doesn't
Blaze,
look
where he
that
shoots a
bad,
blue
though.
homing
Well, it
fireball,
doesn't
and
look bad at all.
finally he has Blazing Trial, where you chuck down a wall of fire. This character's pretty good, but let's be honest, this is just a chomper. He looks like a chomper, he plays like a chomper, he's a chomper.
Yeah.
Chomper tier. Now before we get on to the next character, I need to quickly mention the sponsor of today's video, Aura. Now many people, you probably included,
like
have been a
the
victim of
wallets?
receiving scam calls, spam emails, the whole shebang. And it would make me really uncomfortable if all my information was just out there for people to take advantage of. And that's why you should use Aura, the sponsor of this video. Aura directly shows you which data brokers are selling your information and
I mean, these services are good, but let's be honest. Your data has already been told 1,000 times. Like, there's no point anymore. And even if they stop 99%, one's gonna sell it, and that seller is gonna sell it to multiple companies. It's whatever.
automatically submits opt-out
Like,
requests for you.
Facebook
Doing
already
this
sold
not
all
only
the data,
reduces
by the
the
way.
amount of annoying spam you get, but it protects you from those sneaky hackers trying to get into your accounts. And that's not all. You get even more features like antivirus, VPN, password management, and more, all in one app at
Nice.
one affordable price. You may already have one or two of these,
What's the price?
all in one app at one affordable price. You may already
53.
have one or two of these tools, but not having Aura is like locking
$12, sure, that's affordable, but 53.
your front door and leaving the back door wide open. You don't want people coming in your back door. Aura is always on, doing all the hard work, while you can relax knowing that your information is safe. Go to aura.com/MewZe to start your 2-week free trial today, which is linked below in the description. Thank you, Aura, for sponsoring this video. Now back to the yapping. Now the next character, Acorn, is a new type of character. He first has the ability Sap
Seems like a
Trap, which is basically a sticky grenade that knocks back opponents, and then he has Acorn Dash, where you quickly spin forward. But where this character gets
seems
interesting
shitty.
is with the ability called Invoke Oak. Using this transforms you into a huge oak stump, which other Acorns can board. This means that if multiple
That seems
people
fun.
play Acorn, you'll basically have one huge tank on your team. He shoots slow firing explosives that do a lot of damage. You can use Super Sap Trap, which is
Very
basically a huge version of Sap Trap. And finally, he has Roll for Damage, where you roll a giant log forward, squishing zombies in its path.
This looks
This
like a fun
character is
game. I would
pretty
play
good,
this, yeah.
but if you're playing alone and you need to rely on other random Acorns to help you, it's a little frustrating as the only people still playing this game are babies, but it's probably the coolest concept for a character so
Better
far.
boomers.
B tier. Moving on to the zombies for now,
Sure.
we have the 80s action hero. His main weapon is a bow that deals more damage and is more accurate
Nah,
the more you
should be
charge
an
it
X,
up,
should be an
which
X.
results in this being the most satisfying weapon to use in any game possibly ever. His first ability is Dynamite Dodge, where you drop a stick of dynamite and do a Dark Souls dodge roll. He next has Rocket Ride, which is
The
the
bow
most
doesn't fit
patriotic
the character.
ability I have ever seen. And finally, he has Can't Missile, which is an incredibly funny play on words. You shoot homing rockets that either lock onto the closest enemy or the last person you hit with your bow. I love this character
That's
more than I
interesting.
love
Yeah.
myself. Honestly, it's mostly just the main weapon I'm drawn to. It's just so satisfying to use, especially when you get a kill from a country's length away. S
My aim
tier. Next
sucks, so I
up is
couldn't play this.
Electric Slide, which is a weird name for a character. She shoots electric bolts, and if you hit a plant enough times with it, they'll get temporarily stunned, which is a mechanic that I'm sure everyone loves. Her first ability is Funky Bouncer, where you throw a magnet that pulls in any nearby plants and will send them bouncing around with it. She next has Outer Fight, where she evaporates, making
So she pretty much destroys your movement, right? Like you can't move. That's the most annoying thing you can do in a game, by the way. Restrict the player's movement. They pretty much just fucks them mentally.
you're temporarily invincible but can't shoot.
the
And
reason I
finally,
like
she has
to
Disco
use press
Tornado,
Q,
which
they
summons
can't
a
do shit.
small whirlwind, but if you time it right and press E when it's next to a player, it expands into a huge tornado, doing tons of damage. If I'm being honest, I don't really like this character. There isn't
Seems
much
boring,
to her
yeah.
other than the tornado ability, which I do enjoy, but there are definitely much better options. E tier. And
You
then
can probably combo with other things, right? Like you can combo this tornado with the like gravitation.
there's the
and shit.
Space Cadet, and this is basically the zombie equivalent of the Acorn. She can use Gravity Smash to
Dude,
go
wait, what's going on? I'm almost halfway to the video. Like, why did it fail? Just the name? Like, so far, it seems like a good game.
up into the air and slam down,
Like, I don't see
dealing
any
damage.
negatives.
Or Big Bang Theory Beam, which fires a precise laser after charging up. But her main shtick is that she can turn into an entire space station that other space cadets can get on. The main attack is a very
Sure,
slow firing
except the
laser,
trunk.
but the Space Force ability increases the rate of fire. And finally, there's Crater Maker, where you fly up and shoot an absolutely devastating laser downwards. Similarly to the Acorn, this character is alright on its own, but it's sometimes difficult to use when you don't have other space cadets on your team. I would say the Acorn is a bit better though, so I'll give her C tier. Now you may be thinking, MewZe, didn't you say there were 9 new characters? You only listed 6.
You paid for them, right? DLC expansion. Let's see, $50. It's usually 10, 15, 20, then 30. That's usually the buying prices for currency. But I'm guessing they didn't do that because that's too little money, so they probably just sold them as DLC.
You scammer, you schemer. Well, don't worry, there are 3 other
30
characters.
bucks, 30 bucks.
Wildflower, TV Head, and the Wizard. However, these need to be unlocked, and the way you unlock these
30
characters is through a specific challenge called giving EA $30. Now, I'm alright with some
Okay, right.
microtransactions, and if you play the game for a very long time and earn 1.5
Microtransactions are fine when it's mostly cosmetics. When it's characters and shit like this is basically pay to win to me. Like what's the difference between this and just paying someone to play a character to like beat the game, paying the other team to lose? Because these like bought off characters that are for $30, they can be OP. They can just make the game miserable.
million
And honestly, they're incentivized to make the game OP, to make the character OP. That way people buy it. And then when those people buy it, they'll play a match with it, and they'll destroy everyone. Then everyone who gets destroyed, you know what they feel like? They feel like they have to buy it as well. It's fucked.
coins,
It's like a
then
loop.
you can get all these characters for free. But the game already costs $30 to buy, and you expect players to spend that twice in order to play the new characters?
It's retarded.
No. So, in protest, and I apologise for doing this because I'm sure they're very fun to play, they're going in F tier, and you have EA in their big greedy pockets to thank for that one. Most of these new characters are pretty great additions. Their abilities are unique, the weapons are satisfying to use, and like the previous games, all the different character variants are sure to be... hang on, let me make a quick call.
Okay, I don't understand. What's that? Upgrades. Add upgrades. You probably paid for these, right? Wait, I don't understand actually.
Hang on, let me make
Am I
a quick
missing
call.
something?
Yeah, hi. I can't seem to find the character variants. Oh,
Variant.
really?
I didn't play these ones, so I don't actually know what this
Okay,
is.
bye. They removed the character variants. This is one of the worst decisions PopCap could have possibly made. The different versions of the classes in the first two games were what
Okay,
made the
I
game
understand.
different to every other game.
It's like in okay, I blanked out. Fuck. Tower Defense, whatever. The Steam game with the assassin. You know, he said he played assassin when he showed the acorn. That game. I totally forgot
And
the name.
here, it's been replaced by upgrades, which makes it way more
Like there's
confusing,
different classes.
way more boring, and it means that the players who've played this game for longer are just going to have straight up better versions of all the characters.
they're
When
gonna beat
players
your ass.
realised this, they weren't happy, and it's one of the main reasons why this game failed. But don't worry. It's not the only reason. Battle for Neighborville is different to Garden Warfare, as there is much less focus
EA.
on multiplayer PvP matches. Instead, it focuses more on
PvE.
free roam. Upon starting the
Yeah.
game, you immediately spawn into a huge map containing
It's EA. The reason their games fails. Let's see. You can probably write a book on it.
6
being
different
honest.
regions. Dave Manor and Zomboss HQ are simply the spawn locations for the plants and zombies respectively, and this is where you'll find pretty much the same stuff from the second game, such as the matchmaking portal, character select, and of course, the sticker shop. Sticker shop.
Ignore it. It's
Sticker
like
shop?
it's like when they do an ad. Wait, it's when they do an ad for a game, and one of their features is like petting a dog. It's like, wow, that seems fun. Wow, like there's no need for this to
Unlike
be
the
in the
past games, however, you'll notice in this area you can actually see other players. And this gets even cooler when you make
That's
your
cool,
way
yeah.
over to Giddy Park, as this is a skirmish area where you can fight actual players in a casual environment. This was one of the few things people wanted from Garden Warfare 2. No longer were you just limited to fighting bots over and over again. Now you could try out new characters and abilities in a realistic environment without having to load into an actual game. You can also ride the
That seems
Ferris
fun.
wheel, which is fun. Then there's the 3 remaining areas: Town Centre, Mount Steep, and Weirding Woods. These differently themed sub-regions are where you'll find the game's main quests. You'll go in either as a plant or zombie, depending on the area, and you'll find NPCs all around the map, and if you talk to them, you get a quest. And here, the game fumbles again. These quests
They're boring.
are
They're all the
boring.
same.
They all follow
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
much the exact same
Hey, I was right. I said it in the beginning of the video. Like that's the only reason I actually didn't like try to get this game at all.
layout. Talk to NPC, skip
have
through the
pirate it.
unnecessary amount of dialogue, go over to area while fighting enemies, fight something specific, go back, skip through more dialogue, repeat. Obviously there are exceptions to this, but a lot of players really didn't like this type of gameplay. And it's a shame because it feels like the developers were really pushing the PvE over the PvP, and
That's dumb.
it just wasn't very fun. This complete
That's dumb.
disregard for what people loved about Garden Warfare
So the thing with PvE is that PvE can get boring. PvP is harder to get boring. Like for example, League of Legends, and that's because different people act differently to different simulation. So you're always gonna get like a different reaction. You're always learning to a certain extent. When it comes to PvP, you're going against the robot. You can just cheese it and just learn the patterns, and then you're done.
Warfare is what led to this game's failure. And because of this, most people were calling this game the worst game in the series. But some people still had hope. There was still a chance for Battle for Neighborville to be saved.
If
If the
EA
developers just continued to update it, made changes to some of the things people didn't like,
Update equals more characters, which equals pay 30 more bucks. Actually, they're probably gonna raise the price because there's less people playing now, so they're probably gonna raise the price to like 40 maybe. Fix the problems. Why do that when you can have that team, the team that's fixing the problems, make skins or more characters? So that's not gonna happen.
and added new content, maybe,
New content equals DLC. Nothing's gonna be free. Doesn't matter. It's
just
gonna be shit.
maybe, this game could be great. Oh, they've discontinued it. On September 1st,
EA.
2020, not even a year after the game released, PopCap announced that they will be discontinuing the game
Yep.
due to its commercial failure. Players were devastated. After the success of both the first two games, seeing this attempted revival of the series completely fall flat was a huge gut punch, and many players simply went back to playing Garden Warfare 2, leaving Battle for Neighborville abandoned.
Yeah.
However, I was determined to find out if this game was still playable, and to see if maybe the players were just being...
There's probably a fan made like a port or server, like most games. Like I'm pretty sure old Mario's or multiplayer games also have that with fans.
too harsh on it. Well,
It's
it's time to find out. Oh, that music makes me tingly. I'm just saying, guys, if this game was made today,
There's a
it would
couple
be
players.
called Woke Plants versus Woke Zombies. I said it. I'm the only one brave enough to say it.
Zombies
Memory
aren't
of the
white.
super Brazil.
See, that guy agrees. Right, come on, MewZe. You were the #1 rated Garden Warfare 1 player of all time. Okay? Hone your skills. First enemy. Destroyed! Second enemy.
Okay, the game doesn't seem dead by the
Oh,
way.
wow.
Like he didn't show the match time. Like how long it takes to queue.
I think that may have been aimbot. Listen, alright, you guys haven't seen nothing yet. Fucking breathe fire!
Yeah, the
I
battlefield
got that
seems,
guy
like, pretty active.
all by myself. They're not going to expect the attack from above. 1 zillion damage. Uh-oh. Burn. Burn. Boil. No, don't run. Fucking destroyed. Right, we're doing a bit of a flank here. We're doing a bit of a flank.
Dude, the game
Uh-oh,
seems
you
fine.
can see me.
At least
Yep,
from what
that
he's
went well,
showing
yep.
it looks fine.
Perfect. Yep. Yep, nicely done. Nicely done. Nicely done. Yes, nicely done. Nicely done. Hide behind this. Shoot that. Shoot them homing things. Beautiful. Hop up in the air.
Wait, I'm
That
just
was not
watching
the
gameplay
air.
now.
That was ground level. Citron, man, what did they
Okay,
do to you? He looks like the Roblox man face.
There's
Looks
not
like
much
this
commentary I can
acorn
give.
is...
Like there's really not much commentary I can give when it comes to like a actual gameplay. So let's skip a bit.
Get map out on this.
If you wanna watch this, do like his channel is MewZe. It was uploaded 19 months ago. You're free to watch it.
1738?
I will leave a link to the video on the description.
Hey? I'm like, hey, what's up? Hello. I figured it out, guys. The mystery has finally been solved.
Wait, what
Hey, big tree. How about you log off? Right, I'm done. After playing Battle for Neighborville in its current state, I have mixed feelings. I honestly had quite a lot of fun playing the PvP in this game, and that part did feel like Garden Warfare. It's just everything else didn't. I couldn't care less about the PvE missions, and the whole character upgrade system is just so much more confusing than just selecting Cheeto Chomper. I honestly think this game had a lot of potential, but with how many mistakes there were in the game's marketing, changing the main focus of the game, and the unnecessary removal of features that made the first two games special, it was kind of inevitable. The players were right. This is like a Garden Warfare game from an alternate universe where they made all the wrong choices. And it's honestly sad that this is where the series has been left. It's pretty clear that they aren't going to be making another Plants vs. Zombie shooter
Wait,
game.
is that the
been
weekend?
left.
That's the weekend, right?
Pretty clear
Wait,
that they
that's-
aren't going to be making another Plants vs. Zombie shooter game after the failure of this one. And the fact that what once was a perfect series now has this mediocre stain attached to it is upsetting. Maybe one day PopCap will make a comeback and release a true Garden Warfare 3, but
Probably not.
until then, the reality will be that Battle for Neighborville was the last Garden Warfare game we're ever going to get. And now finally, after going through all 3 games, I can say that it was the best series nobody plays anymore.
Wait, the other ones
games.
also
I can
they're also dead? What?
say that it was the best series nobody plays anymore. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and this 3-part series as a whole, please consider subscribing and
Alright, the video was great. But the main problem is they probably saw. Actually, when did it come out? 2020? No, it died 2020. It came out 2019. Fortnite didn't. Fortnite came 2020, right? Yeah, I don't know. Why would they shift to PvE? I guess because you can sell more skins. It's more casual, so you expect more players to join in. Yeah, I guess that would be the only reason, right? To go PvE and just shift everything. Maybe Minecraft was popular since Minecraft does become popular every like 2 or 3 years. It just pops back up and people are playing in like crazy. So maybe they saw that and were like, oh yeah, we should do a PvE as well, something like that. And peace. Thanks for watching. Tomorrow I will be playing the new PoE season, PoE 2, Dawn of the Hunter or Huntress or the Hunt. Peace. I do stream on Twitch, streaming right now. PenteDente. Bye bye.